There's a lot of comments out there, let's just say that suggest, oh, the tariffs have been struck down. That means we will never get any type of dividend, refund, rebate, distribution, stimulus, or any type of payment of any kind ever again in the history of this country. I wouldn't go as far to say that, okay? And here's why. Obviously, yes, the president did say many, many times that, the tariffs are the best thing since sliced bread. He didn't use those words, but basically implying that the tariffs are the best thing ever. They're bringing in billions and billions and trillions of dollars into the country, which, yes, they did bring in about $1 billion a day, about $30 billion a month, and a couple $100 billion over the course of, well, not nearly a year that they were in place, okay? So yes, true, they did bring in a lot of money for the country. But since the president had the plan of taking some of that tariff money and distributing it back to us in the form of a dividend payment, as the president talked about it, same as a distribution or stimulus or rebate or refund, whatever you want to call it, same thing, different words to describe the same thing. But anyway, just because the Supreme Court ruled against the legality of the IEEPA tariffs does not mean that is game over on any potential distributions. Now, am I promising anything? No. Am I guaranteeing anything? Nada. Not at all. But what I am saying is that there's many different avenues in which lawmakers could approve / the president could also sign into law any type of distribution of payments in the form of some type of stimulus at some point this year, if they just so wanted to. And there's a few different ways in which they could actually get that done. Now, one more thing I want to point out. Lawmakers, we haven't talked a whole lot about it, but a few months ago, earlier this year, I said, get ready. They are doing it right now, and they're actively working on this. What is it? They're currently working on the next reconciliation bill. Now remember, last summer, they passed the OBBB, that massive multi-trillion dollar tax cut bill. That was done through reconciliation. Because Republicans have full control of the presidency, the House, and the Senate right now, they can use this reconciliation option, which essentially allows them to pass pretty much anything. I mean, there's definitely some restrictions with it, but they can pass anything, well, again, within the confines of the rules, but they can pass a lot of different things through this reconciliation process, including the distribution of stimulus if they just so wanted to do so. I'm not saying that they're going to. I'm not promising anything. I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm just saying they could. If they just so wanted to do so, they could. And remember, the president said late last year in many different instances that they wanted to distribute this $2,000 somewhere around the middle to later portion in the year. We're practically in the middle as I film this video right now. We're practically in the middle of the year. It's not that far off as I film this video right now. Point being is that, yes, Supreme Court did strike down the tariffs. Tariffs are done. Got it. Okay, they're sending out refunds. No problem. Okay. But there's many other ways that they could do that. They have essentially infinite money supply. They have infinite money available to send out anything if they wanted to, okay? Because that's how the federal government works. They have a printing press. They can just flick on the printing press and be like, here you go, let's just print up $500 billion, 500 billion. Let's just print up $1 trillion. They can easily do that. It's not that big of a deal. So if they ever want money, they can just create debt to get it, and then they just print money and just literally create more debt. That's all they ever do. And just add the debt to the national debt. And it's like well over $39 trillion right now. That's all they do. That's all they continue to do. They will just continue to rack up debt, and then they put the liability on us, the citizens, and be like, here, you pay for this, which we will never do because it's practically impossible. We're not going to pay that debt off, right? But point being is that that's not the only avenue in which that they could distribute any type of refund, rebate, dividend, stimulus, anything like that. There's many different avenues that they could do it. And with the midterm election coming up, just think of it this way. That's likely going to be a very key catalyst that lawmakers and the president will be looking at very closely to make sure that they are appealing to the American people. Again, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't have some crystal ball. I certainly do not have insider information. I wish I did, because I'd be taking insider trades just like they do and making boatloads of money. But I'm not, unfortunately. I would certainly be doing that right there with them. If they let me into some of that insider information, it would be awesome. But I'm not. So unfortunately, that's not very cool. Anyway, point being is that There's many different catalysts that are out there that could potentially distribute something like this. Okay, so don't get too caught up about the repeal of the tariffs and being like, that's it, we're never going to get anything ever again. Remember, I've said this 1,000 times over the years, probably more. I'm just saying, I just threw randomly 1,000 out there, but you get my point. I've said this a lot of times over the years. A lot of times it's economically based anyway. If we fall into a deep, dark, nasty recession, they will stimulate. They will stimulate like crazy. They will print trillions of dollars. There will be massive inflation, and they will likely push out a whole bunch of that money to us in the form of direct payments. Now, what else is really interesting about this is that every recession we've had, they've distributed stimulus checks. What else is really interesting is that every time the stimulus check amount has doubled every time. Example, 2000, 2001, $300. 2008, 2009, $600. 2020, $1,200. You see the doubling? 300 to 600, 600 to 1,200. Makes you wonder, is the next time going to be 2,400? I don't know. That'd be a double of 1,200. We'll see. I don't know. But all I'm saying is that there's many different avenues in which something could be done, and a major catalyst that you better believe the president is watching closely is the midterm election, and that's not that many months out from right now as I film this video. It's going to be here before we know it. And if they wanted to do something, honestly, it'd have to be done probably a couple months before the midterms anyway. So that's honestly not that many months out from right now. And we also know that lawmakers are currently working on the next reconciliation bill, which they could easily add a dividend, stimulus, whatever they wanted to it, some type of check into that if they wanted to do so. Not saying that they're going to, I'm just saying that they could if they wanted to, which also makes it seem a little bit interesting that they're working on this and likely going to have it passed in the next couple months here. Gee, I don't know. Sounds like pretty interesting timing to me.